We all know that aging brings significant changes to our bodies, but here's something that few really think about. After the age of 70, death doesn't always come from sudden pain or dramatic symptoms. In fact, many older adults pass away quietly, without any warning signs. This is the part that can be confusing, and sometimes even frightening when we realize that our health is slowly deteriorating without us even noticing. You might imagine that as you age, your body will give you clear signals. Maybe a sharp pain in the chest or a sudden illness that sends you straight to the hospital. However, many people don't realize that it's the quiet, insidious health issues that often accumulate over the years, ones that we often overlook because they seem too small to matter. These subtle signs can gradually take a toll on your health, and before you know it, it's too late to reverse the damage. A study conducted in Boston revealed that most deaths after the age of 70 are related to a few slow-moving, silent conditions that we might not even recognize until it's too late. This video isn't here to scare you, it's here to prepare you. Because understanding the real causes of death after 70 isn't about fear, it's about awareness. And awareness leads to action. If you can recognize these hidden threats, you can make small changes in your lifestyle, monitor your health more carefully, and take better care of the body that has carried you this far. In this video, we'll explore 6 major causes of death for those over 70, delve into why they often go unnoticed, and explain how you can begin recognizing and addressing them now, before they ever become a crisis. These are not rare issues, they are incredibly common, and the more you know about them, the more empowered you'll be to take control of your health. Stick with us until the end, because the 6th cause might surprise you. It's not a disease, but it's something that leads more seniors to the hospital than most people realize, and it often marks the beginning of a rapid decline that's hard to reverse. Let's get started. 1. The silent progression of heart disease. One of the leading causes of death after 70 is heart disease. But here's the thing, it doesn't announce itself loudly. There are no sirens or dramatic symptoms. It quietly creeps in through the slow buildup of plaque in the arteries, the stiffening of blood vessels, and the gradual increase in blood pressure. Most of the time, cardiovascular disease doesn't show clear symptoms until it's too late. Sometimes, a heart attack or stroke is the first sign, and it comes so suddenly that there's no time to prepare. Imagine the story of James, a 74-year-old retired teacher from Cleveland, Ohio. James had always been active. He walked every day, had a decent diet, and felt great. But one night, while watching TV, he suddenly slumped over in his chair. By the time the ambulance arrived, it was too late. James had been living with high blood pressure for years and never thought to check it. He thought he was fine, until he wasn't. Heart disease is a silent killer, but the good news is that it's preventable. Regular screenings for blood pressure and cholesterol, staying active, and reducing your intake of salt and sugar can make a huge difference. These small steps can save your life, especially as you get older. Remember, those little signs, like shortness of breath or fatigue, aren't just signs of aging. They're your body telling you that something is wrong, and if you listen, you can prevent a heart attack or stroke from taking you by surprise. 2. Long-term lung damage. Our lungs age differently than our hearts. They don't fail suddenly. Instead, they wear down gradually over time. After 70, the risks associated with this loss of lung function can become severe, especially for those with a history of smoking, exposure to pollution, or chronic conditions like COPD. Lung damage doesn't always cause obvious symptoms. It often starts with a persistent cough, followed by a gradual difficulty in breathing during activities that once felt easy. Sometimes, older adults don't realize they are developing a lung condition until they start feeling short of breath walking across the room or doing simple chores. But by then, the damage is often already significant and can't be fully reversed. Take the case of Susan, an 80-year-old woman from Portland, Oregon. Susan had never smoked, but she lived with a smoker for many years and in a city with poor air quality. Over time, her lungs lost their elasticity, and she began to struggle with even the simplest tasks. She thought she was just slowing down with age, but in reality, her body was not getting enough oxygen, and by the time she was diagnosed with restrictive lung disease, her lungs were too damaged to heal completely. Preventing respiratory failure isn't just about avoiding smoking, it's about paying attention to the small signals. Regular flu shots, using a humidifier in dry weather, avoiding secondhand smoke, and staying consistent with any prescribed inhalers can help. But most importantly, don't ignore mild breathlessness. Your lungs don't hurt when they're in trouble, they whisper. And if you listen closely, you can catch the issue early, before it escalates into something far worse. 3. Diabetes, the slow, silent deterioration. Diabetes is one of the most underestimated health threats after 70, especially when it has been silently wearing down your body for years. You might feel fine, even if you have it, but high blood sugar can silently damage your nerves, kidneys, eyesight, and your ability to heal. And often, it's not the diabetes itself that becomes fatal, it's the damage it causes to your organs over time. Take the story of Edward, a 78-year-old man from Phoenix, Arizona. Edward had always been active and lean, so he never thought he was at risk for diabetes. But after a routine checkup, he learned that his blood sugar had been elevated for years. He hadn't noticed, but the damage was already done. Within 2 years, he developed kidney problems, nerve pain in his legs, and a foot wound that wouldn't heal. That wound eventually led to an amputation, and from there, his health rapidly declined. Not because of the wound itself, but because of everything that came with it: infection, immobility, and emotional strain. Diabetes is like water slowly leaking behind the walls. You don't see the damage until it's already compromised the structure. The stakes are even higher after 70, when wounds take longer to heal, infections are harder to fight, and complications spiral faster than they would have earlier in life. But the good news is that even small steps can change the trajectory. Regular blood sugar testing, staying active, and being mindful of your carbohydrate and sugar intake are all important. If you notice any signs like numbness in your feet, slow healing from cuts, or persistent fatigue, don't ignore them. They could be early signs of damage caused by uncontrolled diabetes. 4. Cancer, the silent growth. Cancer in older adults doesn't always start with pain. In fact, some of the deadliest cancers, like pancreatic, colon, or prostate cancer, can grow for months or even years without causing any noticeable symptoms. That's what makes them so dangerous. By the time they're discovered, they may already be advanced. Consider the story of Helen, an 85-year-old woman from Denver, Colorado. Helen had always been healthy and independent. But when she started noticing some bloating after meals and a slight loss of appetite, she thought it was just aging. However, after a checkup, she was diagnosed with advanced colon cancer, which could have been caught much earlier with regular screenings. Early detection is key. Screening tests, like colonoscopies, mammograms, and blood tests, can catch issues before they become life-threatening. Don't wait for symptoms to appear. Pay attention to unusual changes in your energy levels, digestion, or appetite. Early detection can give you a better chance of living longer, healthier years. 5. Infections and weakened immunity. As we age, our immune systems don't work as efficiently. Infections that might have been minor when we were younger can become life-threatening when we're older. Pneumonia, urinary tract infections, and even the common flu can quickly escalate into sepsis or organ failure if not treated early. Take Walter, an 85-year-old man from Miami, Florida. Walter was always healthy and active. But one morning, he felt a little tired and dismissed it as poor sleep. By the afternoon, he had a mild fever. The next day, he was confused and unsteady. His family took him to the ER, where he was diagnosed with a urinary tract infection that had spread into his bloodstream. Luckily, he recovered, but his case serves as a stark reminder of how quickly things can change after 70. To prevent infections, stay hydrated, wash your hands regularly, and keep wounds clean. Keep up with your vaccinations and always trust your instincts. If you feel unusually tired, confused, or unwell, don't wait. Act quickly to get the care you need before things escalate. 6. Falls and fractures, the rapid decline trigger. One of the most underestimated threats to your health after 70 is falling. It might seem like a minor accident, but for older adults, a single fall can trigger a chain of events that leads to a rapid decline. It's not just the broken bones, it's the loss of mobility, the hospitalizations, the infections, and the emotional toll. Sometimes, the loss of confidence and independence that follows a fall is just as debilitating as the physical injury itself. Think of Carol, an 80-year-old woman from Houston, Texas, who tripped on a rug and fractured her hip. After surgery and rehabilitation, Carol never regained her full mobility. She became afraid to walk too far, and soon she stopped going out altogether. Her muscles weakened, her mood dropped, and within a year, she was living in assisted care, not because of an illness, but because of one missed step. To prevent falls, strengthen your legs with regular exercises, Ensure your home is well lit and free of obstacles, and install grab bars in the bathroom. It's about making small adjustments that can help you stay steady and confident. Preventing a fall today can help you avoid a long decline tomorrow. Looking back on these 6 causes, one thing becomes clear. Life after 70 isn't just about avoiding death. It's about understanding where the real dangers lie so you can protect what matters most. It's not about fear, but about awareness. And awareness leads to action. You don't have to be perfect to stay healthy. You just need to listen to your body, act early, and make small, deliberate changes. Your health isn't on autopilot, and the choices you make today can influence the quality of life you have in the years ahead. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Please leave a comment and share one thing you've learned today and how you plan to use it to improve your health. Your thoughts are important to us, and reading your comments gives us great motivation to continue creating helpful content.